to go into chaos. If we got the common ground there as our conscience, as our reminders, we can let them loose and it can work. We can hit those other 99%. It doesn't mean, empower the team doesn't mean ignore them. This is one of my case studies, by the way. Where, okay, and I've heard this from project managers. We're going agile. So they tell all the project managers, leave the software team alone. And so all the systems engineering goes off and they go, what's my job now? I can't talk to software. Oh my. You can see where the problem is. Summary of the difference. How am I doing on time? All right, I'm going to finish here. These are the summary. These are the summary. So I'm not even going to use this slide. You can read them. I've hit all these things. But the point is, what's different here is that we're not at wide acceptance yet. That we've got to get to wide acceptance. These things are done and they're proven, they work, but they don't work widely. We haven't got it out there. That's where we have to get to. So in conclusion, what I want to say, SEMAT is not the next fad. Please don't hype it. We don't want to go down the Gartner hype cycle trail. Don't overclaim what it does. Please don't misread what I'm saying is it's a magic bullet. It is not. Here's the challenge. This is really a tricky challenge too. Because people will say, and I get this, people will say, there's no meat. I got this from people on the OMG. They're saying, oh, how should I support SEMAT? There's no beef in it. There's no meat. Well, guess what? That's right. Because we don't want beef in it. We don't want meat. We think value comes from lean. Getting it down to a very small set. What were the words that I think it was Ian said it? Maybe it was in our side group meeting. I think it was where, Pascal said that if I had more time, I would have said less. There's a lot of meaning in that. And that's why we spend a lot of time getting things smaller. There's a simple idea here that I want people to understand. But this idea that we're talking about, this can make an astounding difference. It's simple. That's right. We have to communicate, yes, this isn't all new stuff. Some of it's very old. We've known it forever, but we haven't institutionalized it and got it out wide. If we do this, this can make an astounding difference in the future of software engineering. I'm done.
Thank you very much. Any questions to Paul? Okay, no? So our next speaker is Ivar, and this is the final speaker. He has already given a talk, and he has already been introduced, so there is not much to introduce him. However, I would like to reveal one thing once again. As you can see, Ivar is a very handsome guy. I know that the majority of you are men, but still you have eyes. And he's also a very rich guy, so it's a very dangerous combination. However, I found out during lunch today that he's a faithful guy. I don't know anything about his faithfulness to his wife, but one thing I know that he's very faithful to his friends and colleagues with whom he has been working for ages. So if you start collaborating with him, you probably are stuck with Ivar for the rest of your life. Ivar, the stage is yours.
Surprise, surprise. So, where's the headset? Oh.
Is it this one?
Okay. No. This is one. The other side.
Oh, the other one.
All right. You're doing a great job here. No break, which is almost unforgivable. But we are getting to the end. So I just wanted to give you a feeling. This is what we have described today is actually just the very first step. It's SEMAT has a multi-year vision. And I will just now quickly go through what we are doing, and basically summary, and what we're doing and expect to have done by 2012, and then where we'll be in 2014. We have, all this is written down in like 30-page document, unreadable of course, only the really religious can read it. And we have basically two documents. One is describing what will we have 3 years from now, and the other will describe how we're going to get there. So let's start with what we basically believe will be next year. I've already described this structure, and the interesting thing is we start with this kernel. The kernel, which is the maybe 20 elements that are like hooks, on top of which, hooks, you know, hookah, on top of which you can hang things, you know? So they are generic. And then you can put on them practices. And you can put other things, the alphas you have heard about, which are actually fabulous elements. We could spend 2 hours just talking about alphas. And so we can hook on them things, so like work products. And that way we can have, this is very generic, because, and I mean, we all know intuitively that there must be something like that. The difficulty is, of course, to find something which we can all agree on. That has taken a lot of time, and also to scale it, to make it so precise, so we basically all know what we are talking about. This is what the kernel group are working on. The language is, I mean, call it a language is pretentious. Don't think about it as SEMAT. Don't think about it as such a advanced language. This is very, very small. And if we're going to reach with 20 million, that's the goal, maybe 1 million the next 3 years, then the language must have some portion of it. It must be so small and so trivial, so everybody will learn it in a blink. And of course, we believe that university will be attracted to this, and that teaching will happen at school, and then it changes the whole picture. If you learn this at the university level, it will change the whole picture. Anyway, so this is a small language, and it also, we think about one of the things, I don't know how many here have worked with designing languages, but most language designed snobs, S-O-N-B-S, snobber, they want to work with semantics. Semantics is fine. Syntax is not really sexy. Here we see it differently. It's a syntax that makes a difference. So it will be very appealing, attractive, easy to get. You get it immediately, and that way you don't need to think about those, because the semantics is trivial. So, okay, language, and then of course the practice on top of it, and we have the methods at the very end. And these are the wonderful thing here, we have 100,000 methods, but there are only 250 practices, at least documented. Okay, this is the picture, and that's where we want to get. And we have a standard going on now. We are going to submit this standard, we are here to work on submission to that standard. And the people who have said they are going to submit are basically friends to us. So whatever happens, normally you could think about one, there will be several submitters and they will fight and compete. Now all of the submitters are now basically friends. And it's with University in Mexico, who is actually a SEMAT friend too. That has to happen in February. So we have to deliver a submission in 2-3 months. We get a new standard 2012. That's almost for sure, unless they think we are not really ready. But otherwise, if we deliver as we think we are doing, we will have a new standard. It will not, it will be very easy to adopt. So just as this is the first year, and we call this the first year vision, it actually taken us 2 years to get where we are. And the reason it took longer is that we, from the beginning, we really didn't believe we needed to create a formal standard. We could just come up with a standard ourselves. So we have talked about the key differentiators that really think are killer features, and it's compared to what we have in the past. I truly believe these things are more than enough to make this, to reach this 1 million developers instead of only 100,000. And but still, that is the question, and that's also without getting there. We don't think we have succeeded. So we'll soon see. We don't have so long time to this, but we'll soon see. And once that has happened, things change. Because now we have something to stand on. We will have a lot of things to present to the world after this is done. We will, and what will happen in 3 years' time, we believe,